Happy Sabbath to us all.
Happy day.
By God's grace, we've seen a brand new day, and it's time for us to continue with our TLC session. As we are all here, before we begin today's session, I would like us to close our eyes and take a word of prayer. Let's all close our eyes as I pray. Our dear Lord, Heavenly Father, we are most grateful unto your name. We thank you for our life. We thank you for the life of our family and friends. We thank you for how far you've brought us. This morning, once again, we are gathered as your students, as servants, to study under your throne. It is our prayer that may you fill us with your spirit and be with us. Through Jesus Christ and have we prayed with thanksgiving. Amen. So for today's session, we have a long day to go, and then I'm the moderator for this morning's session. Today we are looking at leadership in academia and a whole lot to it. The little I have to say is that a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So before anything else, I would like sorry, I had muted myself and I was talking. Pardon me. I would love to invite our host for today's show, Gnaas National. He would introduce our moderator or our facilitator for this morning show. So without much ado, I will call on the host, Gnaas National, to invite or introduce our speaker to us for this morning session.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and happy Sabbath. This morning, we are beginning with the mentorship session, and we have facilitators with us talking about different things. The way the thing is going to do, because it's mentorship, they are sharing their experiences and how they have some of the things that they are going to share with us have helped them in their work experiences or where they find themselves. We are going to begin. When we look at the flyers we shared, we have arranged the name according to time management, networking, maintenance balance, and then effective planning as a student leader. So we are going strictly according to that list we have provided. So we would begin with Mr. Shadrach Nkatia from the University of Education, Winneba, to begin with a 15 minutes presentation. After Ms. Anita Delay Dankwa will continue with networking, and then Eda Jenim will continue with maintaining balance as a leader, and then we will have effective planning with Dr. Wache Emmanuel. So, Mr. Shadrach, the floor is yours.
Hello, good morning. Please, a minute. I want to share my screen so that we can all see. Oh, can the host please allow me to be able to share my screen? Or if you don't mind, I'll just go ahead and present without sharing the PowerPoint. Hello?
You can try sharing and see.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Good morning, and let me say how happy and grateful I am for this privilege to be with you, Gnaas, at this virtual transformation leadership training. As the moderator just said, we have a long day, and this morning's presentation, I'm going to be talking about time management. But it fits under the topic mentorship, leadership, academics, and beyond, which also fits under the theme for the program, which is chosen, committed, and complete. And my presentation, as the moderator said, is supposed to be done within 15 minutes. So I was actually wondering whether this is also a test of my own time management, but we'll see what we can do. And as I was reflecting on the theme and the subtopic, I realized a very interesting link, which came to me quite strangely. A link between the theme and the topic that we are talking about, time management. So choosing, when we talk about choosing, it connotes this idea of uniqueness or distinctiveness as a result of a decisive action that had been taken in the past or a choice that had been made in the past. Then committed uh, tends to connote this idea of giving up or using energies or resources. Of course, we know the most important resource is our time, in furtherance of an action or in respect of somebody or an activity. And it is a continuous notion, because when we say you are committed, it means it's something that is ongoing, that you are still doing. And when we say complete, it means wholeness. And for me, completeness is just aspirational at best, because as human beings, we can barely say we are complete. And I believe it's only when Christ comes that we will be able to attain full completeness. So when we talk about chosen, committed, complete, basically we are talking about our past, our present, and our future. And that's why I said there's a strange link between the topic of time management and the theme, because we can't talk about these concepts without talking about our time and how we manage it. So I'm going to try to do justice to that topic within the next 15 minutes. But before we do so, I want us to do a quick poll. So if you check your chat right now, I'm going to share with you a link. If you click on it, it should take you to this poll so that you will be able to, sorry, let me just stop sharing my screen for now and be able to get access to the chat. Could you please confirm if you have the link?
Yeah, we have the link.
Okay, so you can answer the question for me right now. At what level are we currently studying, so that we have a fair idea the group that we are dealing with? In the next minute or two, we should be done with this poll, and I'm going to also be sharing with you the results right now. Okay, so we have 6 participants who have already voted, or who have already answered the question. All of them are undergrads. Okay. Are we having some difficulty responding to it? Because I can see how many of us, close to 20, but only 6, okay, 7, all right. Okay. In the next 30 seconds, I'll try and close the poll. But we have more than 77% of us being undergrads and about 2 of, okay. So it's still going up. All right. Because of our time, at least we have a fair idea. We can see that most of us currently are undergrads. And it's very important we know this, because for me, it's mostly when you are getting more responsibilities, when you go beyond undergrad, you start working, or you are doing your doctorate, that time management becomes very critical. But then it's also very important that you build the skills to manage your time at the undergrad level. For most of us, this will be the first time we have moved away from home, and we are very independent in terms of the decisions that we are making. So it's critical that we look at this. And what I'm going to try to do is to use my own personal experiences to share with you some of the things that I've learned that have been helpful for me when it comes to my own time management. But friends, there is this problem. There's a time management frustration. And when the president called to discuss the presentation with me, I could actually sense it in his voice. The problem that when it comes to presentations on time management, generally it tends to be more theoretical than practical. And so President was almost begging me to make sure that as much as possible, this presentation is practical. And in terms of our own personal experiences also, time management is something that we are sometimes even too familiar with. We know a lot about it, but when it comes to practice, we perform quite abysmally. And even if we look at the time that we said we were going to start this program and when we started, it tells you how we struggle as human beings to manage our time and to keep to the things that we say we'll do. But, well, maybe it's innate, but if we try to have the right mindset and we get the right tools, I think even if we will not be perfect in terms of our time management, we can set ourselves on the path to perfection. So as I said, I'm going to draw on my own experience as what? As a husband and a father of 2 boys, and my very good friend, Dr. Boachi, knows why I'm saying, I'm emphasizing the 2 boys. I'm also a leader in the church. I'm a guest researcher and a PhD candidate, a chartered accountant and a head of finance department. I'm also an amateur farmer, and quite recently an amateur gospel music producer. So these are the things that I'm struggling to juggle within the time that I have as a professional. And these are the experiences I'm going to draw on to share with you some tips that I think will help us develop our capacity to be optimally productive, because that is the goal. I mean, we want to be productive. We want to get as much done within the time that we have as possible. So tip number 1, this has already worked for me very much in the past and even presently. It is important to define your goals or your vision in the long term, in the medium term, and also in the short term. Because why do we have to have a vision? It gives us meaning and purpose. Whatever we are doing, if it is not geared towards a particular goal or vision, it becomes purposeless and it doesn't generate within us the energy that will help us to be able to move on to achieve those activities. And when it comes to setting goals or having a vision, the problem has been that the vision itself or the goal itself is problematic sometimes. And so we advise that, and this has worked for me, that we make the goals as specific, as measurable, as achievable, as relevant, and as time-oriented as possible, what we know to be SMART goals or objectives. And personally, I've been using this old school way of pen and paper. So sometimes, or at the beginning of the year, for instance, I sit down, I write, so what do I want to be in the future, in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, in the next 5 years, or even this year, and in the months that I have before me. What do I want to do? I put them on paper, pen and paper. Sometimes also I use the computer, and we have a number of apps that are very useful in this sense. Sticky notes is available. We have Google Tasks. Some of these tools, I'll just be mentioning them, but if you'll be able to take note of them and just do a quick search on the internet, you get to know how they work and how they can be very useful to you. We also have Todoist, and when you add reminders to these tools, they become very powerful because you have set the goals and you have set reminders to get you to know when you have to start doing what and when you should be finishing. Are you still with me, please? It's quite silent in here.
Yeah.
We are with you.
All right, so we are going to look at our second poll quickly, talking about setting our goals or setting our vision. And I know my good friend, Dr. Boachi, is going to talk about planning, but when we talk about time management, planning is key, and I just want to spend a little bit of time to look at it. So if you click on the link again, it should take you to the second poll. If you have it, you can let me know. Which of the following personal goals have you currently defined? And when I say defined, I'm referring to something that you have clearly expressed, not just in your head, but you have put down and you have committed yourself to. Please, do you have it? Hello?
Yeah, we have the link.
Okay. All right. So we have 3 participants having voted already. Okay. Very interesting results, isn't it? Good. So we have 9 participants, 10. Okay. All right, so if you look at the graph, it's very interesting. What we are seeing here is that for most of us, we are doing between monthly to medium-term goals. But then weekly, nobody has even ticked weekly. We have 18.2% who have checked that they have daily goals. And you see, this becomes problematic because we are having a situation where we are saying in the long term, we haven't really defined what we want to be, but we know what we want to be in the medium term. And even more problematic is the fact that we haven't been able to operationalize what we want to do in the medium term, in the very short term, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. And that is a real challenge because if you have set the vision, then we need to be able to break it down as we count the days and weeks and months. And this is something that I'm going to challenge all of us and even myself to be doing so that we don't just think of what we are doing in the medium term, but also what we intend to achieve in the very long term, and even on a daily basis. So the second tip is that once you have defined the vision or the goals, you need to be able to focus on it. And I'm sharing with you a post from my Facebook wall in 2010. This was 2 years after I finished my first degree. And to be able to focus on my goals and vision, one of the things I dedicated myself to is that no relationships until I am, well, somebody said 30, but I said I wanted to be 28. Actually, this is the most commented post I have on Facebook. And the reason I brought this up is that there are a lot of distractions that come our way on a daily basis. And sometimes if we are not focused on the vision, we will lose track of what we are doing and what we are supposed to be doing. And but before we realize, time is gone and there's no way we can have it back. So when we have an activity, personally, when I have something doing, sometimes I will use the off button, turn off your phone, turn off other gadgets that are taken out. We know these too well, but sometimes maybe it's the commitment that doesn't help. Some people also decide to use a computer without even internet at all when they want to be very productive, when they are working on a project that requires a lot of attention. But we also have apps like Cold Turkey and Forest that helps you to block certain websites on your phone, for instance, or on your computer when you want to be able to focus on a very key activity. I've tried Cold Turkey recently and I think it works. So maybe you can also have a look at it. The third tip is that we need to be able to prioritize. Very, very important, because there are a lot of things that are taking our attention, and this thing I do it sometimes even unknowingly, because if you do it over time, it becomes part of you. For every activity that comes your way that you feel the edge to be able to do, you need to ask yourself whether it is important, even if it's urgent. Because for me, important things first and consider the urgency. Hello. All right.
You can continue.
Okay, so this is a matrix that I'll recommend, that I use and I'll recommend for everybody who wants to be able to prioritize. So for everything, or for every goals you are setting, every activity on your way, you can assess it in terms of importance and urgency. If the activity is high on importance and also high on urgency, then you know it's critical. You must do it. If it is high on importance but low on urgency, something that you don't need to do right now, you still have to do it because it's important. As I said, for me, urgency is a secondary issue. The fact that the phone is ringing and it will end in the next second doesn't necessarily mean you have to pick it. We know it. So it's very key that we use this tool to help us prioritize. Then as leaders, delegation is very, very important. Sometimes we think that we can do it best, and so we are tempted to be doing everything ourselves, but we are human, obviously, so we can't do everything by ourselves. If you have somebody to assist, get the person to assist. And as a leader, sometimes what I do is that as soon as the issue comes and there's somebody who can work on it, instantly I just pick the phone and I refer the matter to that person. Of course, you need to be able to build capacity. Of course, you need to be able to trust the people who are below you to be able to assist. But it's all part of what you have to do as a leader. Build capacity and get people to assist when the need arises. Tip number 5 is our own monster, procrastination. We have to be able to deal with it. The interesting thing about procrastination is that it's something that starts in the mind, and this is something I got to know just recently, not long ago. It is the processes in our brains that cause us to procrastinate, because the brain doesn't want to cause us harm. And its first response when we need to do something that takes energy or resources is that, no, you can't do this or you don't have to do it. So it will switch your brain or your focus from that particular activity to something that you enjoy, because obviously nobody wants to be harmed, nobody wants to get stressed, and the brain also works in that line. But there is this saying that if you eat your frog in the morning, nothing worse can happen to you the rest of the day. Once you have prioritized and you know the most important things that you have to do, the critical things, start working on them first. And once you get it done, it develops some kind of motivation and encouragement within yourself for you to be able to do the other things that are left. And it helps to be able to break very complex tasks into very small manageable chunks. So for instance, if I have a proposal to write, instead of saying I'm writing the proposal in the next 3 weeks, I'll break it down further to say that, okay, today I'll just write the topic. Even for this presentation that I'm sharing with you right now, for a particular day, I just decided to think about the structure. You see, if you break it down like that, you are able to easily measure your progress, and it gives you motivation to carry on with the rest. If you are looking at the whole activity from beginning to end, it could be so intimidating, and you may not be willing to even start at all. And there is this book that I find very interesting. I started reading it recently by Patrick King, The Science of Getting Started, How to Beat Procrastination, Summon Productivity, and Stop Self-Sabotage. I think it is a very good book, and I recommend it to anybody who is struggling with procrastination, as almost everybody is. It helps a lot. And there is this technique, Pomodoro technique, which says that if you have an activity that you want to do, break it into chunks that you can do within 25 minutes. And after every 25 minutes, have a break, treat yourself. We may not be able to go strictly by that 25 minutes, but the idea is that you need to have breaks in between the things that you are doing. As a student, as a worker, as a leader, whatever activity that you have at hand, break it down. And so if you are studying, it's of no use to say that you are sitting on your desk for 3 or even 2 hours, because the brain gets tired at a point and you will be thinking you are studying, but then our neuroscientists will be telling you you are just wasting your time because the brain is not catching anything. And the last tip that works for me that I'm sharing with you is not to punish yourself for getting it wrong. Of course, we are human and we set ourselves targets and we are not able to achieve them. That in itself is a punishment. So we don't have to beat ourselves if we are not able to do something that we said we want to do within the time. There are a lot of instances that I have set for myself to do about 10 things within the day. I realized I did only 2. Of course, it would have been ideal if I were able to do all 10, but 2 is still a progress. And so we need to be able to commend ourselves. Nobody will do it for you, really. You have to do it for yourself. Commend yourself for the things that you're able to do and gather yourself to move ahead on the things that are outstanding. The first thing I do when I am able to achieve something on my to-do list is to just cross it and write down with an exclamation mark against it. So that at least it gives me a sense that I've been able to achieve something within the day. And it's quite rewarding to be able to do that. And I wouldn't want to punish myself for not being able to do it. In conclusion, I've shared a lot. It calls for a lot of determination. It calls for a lot of focus. But I think we have a perfect example in one man, Jesus Christ. He did all these things that I'm talking about that I initially said I'm even struggling with personally. He did them perfectly. When we talk about having a vision or a goal, he says, I have come that you might have life. He knew exactly what he was doing and he communicated it clearly to his followers. He came for our salvation. He was a master delegator. He called the 12, he told them, you do this, you 10 here. When there was a need to go around with the message, he called the 72. And that is delegation. He didn't, even though he was all powerful, all knowing, and he could do everything by himself, he still taught us to delegate. And everything that we have talked about is something he did perfectly. And so in him, we can achieve this kind of perfection. In him, we can trust that he will give us the ability to focus, to be determined, and to have the discipline to be able to achieve our goals. Thank you very much. I hope as the questions come, maybe I've been able to be provocative enough to stimulate a discussion and help us have a deeper meaning into these points. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. God bless you.
Okay, so I think for the sake of our time, we would have Miss Anita Delaidankwa talk to us about networking. From the look of things, I'm seeing that our time is actually not going consistent as we planned, but let's manage what we can do. So, Anita, please, the floor.
Yes, thank you. Actually, it was one of the things I was about to say at that time. So I'll try as much as possible to just go through quickly. So again, my name is Anita Delaidankwa, and to talk to us or share about networking, how it's done. But before we can go into the practicals, I think we should have a general idea about what networking is. I'll try as much as possible to use, let's say, 5 minutes to do that, and then we can proceed from there with the practicals. Generally, when you talk of networking, most people find it very taxing, and it is not easy. So most people have the idea that it is more of exchange of information. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond just exchanging information. It also goes beyond begging for favors. So the idea most often sometimes is, let me align myself with this person. Let me get to know this person, and then when I'm in need, I can easily go to the person for help. I want us to debunk that notion in our head. Networking is not about begging for favors. It is a two-way affair, more of getting to know people, that is the right people, and ensuring that you put yourself in a position where need be, you'll be of use to them, and when need be, they will also be of use to you. It goes both ways. Networking is not just about trading information. It is a long-time relationship that you have to invest in. And I want us to have that in mind when we move forward. Most often than not, we have this normal saying, no man is an island, no man is an island. And it is true. You cannot be by yourself and do everything by yourself and think that you make it far. You can make it to some extent, but had you had the necessary and needed network, you would have gone further than you are now, or you would have been. It is difficult. I tell people that networking is difficult because it takes your time. Sometimes it is very awkward, very, very awkward. And depending on your personality trait, be it a sanguine or a melancholy or a choleric, it's difficult. So you go to an event and you're supposed to network. The normal average person will sit back and be waiting for someone to come and say hello. You understand? You are feeling a little bored. You pick your phone. You start chatting. You start browsing. If
you don't make a conscious effort to network, you will never get the, should I say, the right environment and the right people to work and network with. So someone will ask, what is networking? I think we cannot have the definition of networking, but I want you to have the networking of computers in mind. So you are in an office, there's a computer in one office. If they are connected very well, you realize that there is no need for you to always go to your boss, go to your subordinates to go and relay information. All you have to do is send an email. Or if you are connected well, all you have to do is put it in the office folder and the relevant person will work on it. So the time where there'll be a 2-3 story building and you'll be running up the stairs to go and give this file to this person and going right. If you are working in an environment which is very up to date, you realize that no one now walks around giving files in, because all the computers are networked. Have that mindset that should you be connected to the right people, like the computer, you might not necessarily need to go everywhere. You can just pick your phone, just a phone call, and you'll be able to get the information you need, or be able to get what is needed to be done. We have a lot of networks. So personally, I ask people, so you have your business, so you have the business one, you have your professional one, you have the alumni, which we currently have now, you have the church, you have the private clubs. There are so many. So the question is, how do you network? Who do you network with? When do you network? Depending on what your objectives are, you have to be strategic in your networking, depending on what the goal is. So if you are, all things being equal, you are at a workplace and even the CEO doesn't know you. The cleaner who cleans your office every day doesn't know you. The receptionist doesn't know you. And you get to the office, you sit, and no, you seem not to be getting work to do because you have not networked. Because if there's something to be done, the manager, the CEO should have, even if you are in lower rank, at least your name should pop up, or you should be able to, they should be able to say that there's someone there who might be able to do it. Knowing your craft and being good is good. But sometimes we laugh about it, that it's not about who knows you, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. We laugh about it, but it is a fact. And the minute you accept that reality, the better it will be for you. In the sense that if someone knows you, it makes your work and your life easier to live. So we are all here, and I saw the list of facilitators, and I saw my father's name was in the Baptist's name was in that. He's my dad, and I'm greeting him. I looked at the list, and I'm like, how did I get in there? Because I look at the list, and the people there are my seniors. And then I realized that I was in another group with someone where I had gone to do a presentation, and that might have been the link. Everywhere you go, there is an opportunity to link up. Everywhere, be it church, be it weddings, sometimes you are going to a wedding, so that's the wedding you are going. You go to the wedding, you go and sit down, you stand up, you have missed an opportunity to have networked. So look at every event you go to as an opportunity. I'm not saying go to every event. You can't go to every event, but be selective with the event you go to network. And then the ones you have no choice, or things you are supposed to be there, ensure that at least you network. So have that also in mind. There are a lot of, how do I put it? There are a lot of things to have to look out for. But what I will say is, it is so important. It gives you meaningful connections. You catch up with news, become noticeable, newer opportunities, work related. You get people who you are like-minded with, and so you are able to share ideas. In your professional life, if you are a professional person too, it helps you become current. And who knows, if you need that job, someone can just give you a thumbs up. Sometimes you'll be there and someone will share advertisement with you that, are you interested in applying for this? You should be able to look out for all these things, and it helps you in self-confidence, that it builds you up. It develops long-standing relationships, and they are numerous, but sake of time, let me get to the mistakes of networking. Sometimes you want to attend every event. As I said, it's not every event you attend. You be strategic with the events. Look at your life. Look at your background. Look at the events that would develop you, and make a conscious effort to attend. Sometimes you go unprepared. Never go to an event unprepared. Know why you are there. What are the objectives? What are the goals? Some people say it's so, how do you put it? It's, you come across as being so rigid because as if everything you are going to network. It's better to go there with an idea of networking than to go there, go in 2-3 hours, you come back and you had not made any meaningful contact or meaningful discussion that will in any way build you up. You have to look at that. Most people also go and all they are doing is collecting cards. They'll go to this person, I need your card, I need your card, they'll take every card available, from the crinking to crank, they'll take every card. Don't do that. Be selective. Some people also dismiss other people. Okay, me, I want to talk to the CEO. So this general manager there, I'll not talk to the person. But you're passing in front of this manager to go and talk to the CEO. Does it hurt to say hello to the manager? It doesn't. So don't ever look down on other people. Don't fake it. Some people come and say hello to you, and it's as if someone is forcing them to. If you go to an event and you really, really are not feeling well, one reason or the other, you don't feel the knack to network, don't fake it. Go to the washroom, try and pep yourself up a bit and come back. Because most people can read fakeness when they see it. Stay in touch. And most often, I know we're all busy, and you create a good rapport with someone, and you should always be able to stay in touch. But unfortunately, you're not able to stay in touch because you're all busy. But sending a hello, sending some messages once a while. I'm not the calling type. I'm very bad at that. But what I'm saying is, at least stay in touch. Stay in touch. As I said, don't join every group. Don't treat some people as non-important, because everyone is important. Stop asking for help at the first instant. You meet someone, you say hello, and the next thing is, please, I hear you work here. Can you, it means, the minute someone goes like that, the thing is, okay, this person is an opportunistic person. And most people will not take you too seriously. Don't be an opportunist. You make the contact, you build on the contact. You realize that some people, when they say hello to you, I don't know if you realize that there are some people, the minute you see their hello, you know that a request is coming, and they never disappoint. If you can't keep up, then don't go begging. Try and build on it. How to effectively network. We have the before, we have during, we have the after. There are so many, but let me just say that pick your networking style. Some people can go and talk and laugh and joke. You are not a joker. Don't go and joke. You don't have a good sense of humor. Know your strength. So when you're going maybe with current affairs, or you are good with, and when you're doing, prepare to for the other person. Know who the person is. I tell people that when you're going to network, at least have 3 highest people in mind and the 3, how do I put it? Should I say lowest people in mind? So you move to a room and you know that the CEO is there, the manager is there. Okay, then we have the HR. Okay, so these are the 3. Okay, then I'm looking out also for the fun person, the one with a sense of humor, the one who seems to be loud and everyone seems to be around. When you think about it that way and you move to a room and you start socializing, you realize that there are some people who stand out. There are some people who you need to communicate with. There are some people who you need to see or who need to see you. You work on it, and during you become open, inquisitive, be friendly, be deliberate with your discussion. Don't say anything and everything. Be deliberate with your discussion. Afterwards, follow up and pay it forward. Sometimes someone will need your help. And I tell people that when someone asks a favor, most people, Ghanaians, now want the money now. So someone does you a favor and the person is like, okay, 1,000, 1,500. That 1,000 you spend within a week, the 1,000 is gone. But if you don't take money, that relationship is built. And trust me, you can capitalize on that relationship for the rest of your life if you build it well. Also learn and read, watch how people do it. I will be moving fast. Okay, the Adventist fraternity. One thing I love about the Adventist fraternity is our structure. Say if you come to Medina Central, the church service is how it will be. If you go to in Sawam, you can predict our service. Our structures are so well laid that connecting should have been so easy within our fraternity. But I don't seem to get how it seems not to be so. So you have an engineer in community 12, and Medina East needs an engineer, and they are moving around looking for engineers. And I often ask this, and I'm told that a department is in charge, but how does it hurt to be able to, we have the structures, we have the people, to be able to bring these people on board, and everyone will know what everyone is up to in a way, so that at the end of the day, when a service is needed, and that's one thing I love about the Jehovah Witness. You can't meet a Jehovah Witness person working somewhere and the person will be 1 or 2. It's not possible. And you can't meet a Jehovah Witness who will tell you that I need something to be done, and the person doesn't have at least a church member's name in mind. So I'm not saying let's restrict ourselves to the church, no. But the church is the first and the easiest ground to start this. There's someone in your church, you don't even know what the person does. And then you go out and then you meet the person in that office and go, hey, is this where you work? You shouldn't even say this is where you work. It's shameful that you don't even know that's where the person works. Try and be deliberate in your relationships. So now let's get to the practicability of it. Generally, what I usually do, people who know me know that I'm vocal, but what most don't know is that the fact that it's a secret, please don't tell anybody, is the fact that I am shy. Most people, when I say I'm shy, people start laughing because I don't look shy, I don't talk shy, I don't walk shy. I'm everything opposite to shyness. But the minute I meet someone I admire, I'd like, then all of a sudden, it's just as if I can't talk. And maybe the person knows that the person has seen you talking and all the confidence and boldness, and the person looks at you and you go to the person, hello. The person says hello, and then you're standing there, you'll be fidgeting with your hands. And what I'm saying is that it's okay to be shy. It's okay to be a little reserved. It's okay to know that that is not a strength. The fact that you know it means that you can work on it. When you are nice, when you say hello, when you say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, trust me, that is a way of networking. Because if you don't say hello to someone, you pass in front of the person's house 3-4 times a day. You didn't say hello. Then you enter the house and you go like, please, is Kojo there? Of course, the person not mind me. Kojo is not there, even if Kojo is in the room. So make a conscious effort to network. Networking means you are putting yourself out there. Sometimes it's awkward when you want to say hello to someone and the person is giving attitude. The person is, you are putting yourself out there. It's as if, okay, I'm trying to be nice, and you are praying that the person will also try to be nice, and the person is not nice, and you are crushed. You feel it is okay. Everyone can't be nice, and be ready and have the tenacity to take that in. That some people are not nice. So the fact that you want to network with the person and deal with the person, it is okay. Some people are loud. You are not loud. It's okay. Find a way around it. For most important, let me conclude with this. The most important assets, someone wrote this. Actually, I don't know who wrote this, but I thought it was apt. The most important asset you have in your life is not your job, money, or title. It's people. Your network is your net worth. Your network, also known as social capital, are your vested interest in people you know. They're people who know you and how they know you. This is massively important, and when well built and used correctly, it can make a very big difference to your quality of life. It can save you money, make you money, get you a better job, make things easier and safer. It can save you from prison or save your life. It can save you from time, it can save you time and effort and make life more enjoyable and productive. How to do this? Learn to connect with people in your circles and not only in Christ. Creating a connection with people is important for building your social capital. That is one of the reasons why the synopsis, okay, that's another one. Do not take this for granted. Your network is your net worth. Sit down and assess your net worth. Who are your network? Who are the people you know? Who are the people who know you? If you look at don't look at just Ghana. Generally, look at, so let's say you are going to Tanzania tomorrow. Do you know someone there? Do you know someone who might know someone there? Is there someone who knows someone who might know someone there? That is how it works. And if you are able to effectively do it, trust me, things will become easier for you. Let me say, it is not easy. Networking is not easy. It might come naturally to some people like the sanguines, but it is not easy. But if the right effort is put into it, trust me, it is worth it. Thank you so much, and I think I'm done.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dankwa. We've all come to realize that networking is a very conscious effort. Since we are far behind time, I'll welcome Elder Ejeni Mbuateng. Okay, Ms. Dankwa, you are still sharing your screen. So I'll welcome Elder Ejeni Mbuateng to take us on our next session, which is maintaining balance. So Elder Ejeni Mbuateng, if you are with us, we are ready to have you on maintaining balance.
I think we may have to go with Dr. Emmanuel Boache first, because I did not see Elijah anymore on, and I've tried reaching him, but I've not actually gotten him. So let's do with Dr. Boache first, talking about planning, then we will see about it.
All right. Good morning and happy Sabbath, everyone.
Good morning and happy day.
Am I audible to everyone within earshot?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. All right. I'm quite in a tight schedule this morning, so pardon me for any distractions you might hear at the background. I'm getting the kids to church together with my wife. I will join them later. Please, okay, I'm about to share my screen. Hold on a minute. Hello. Can you see my screen now? Hello.
No,
No,
please.
Yeah.
not yet.
But you can't see anything. Can
Now,
you see a blank page?
No, please.
Hello, Mr. Madam Moderator. Let's be the interface between you, myself, and the participant. Can you see a blank page?
No.
Okay, a minute. All right. So okay. All right. So whilst I try to whilst I try to get the screen to get the screen shared. Once again, happy Sabbath, and we are welcome to our presentation this morning. It's it's a marathon of a day. Please, is the screen visible now?
Yes,
Very
please.
visible.
It is.
yes, it's visible.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. So a minute, please. I've told you I'm tight and I'm multitasking this morning. Take it and drink it. Take it. All right. So.
Look, you are muted. Look, Dr. Bashi, please, you are muted. You have to unmute yourself. We cannot hear. Hello, Doc. Hello, Dr. Bashi.
I think someone is interfering. I'm unmuted. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. So should I
All right.
share from my end?
No, don't worry. I'll share from here. I'll share from here. All right. So once again, you're all welcome to this transformational leadership training. I'm speaking on effective planning within the context of a student leader. I have 15 minutes and I will run through it. So bear with me as we run together, okay? All right. My presentation is in three phases. I'll give a brief introduction with some statistics and some hard probing questions that we have to ask ourselves as leaders. And then I will open myself up by virtue of some leadership portfolios I've held in my academic and professional life, so that you can situate my experience with leadership. And then I will finally end with some principles that have guided me well in my various leadership roles. All right, so let's look at these statistics. We are all leaders here. The letter that was written to me indicated that this is a conclave of leaders drawn from second cycles to the tertiary institutions. And we are to equip, empower, and learn within the overarching theme of choosing, committed, complete. So we are all leaders. from national to union to fellowships to our families to our institutions, we are all leaders. Ask yourself, how many public universities do we have in Ghana? Let's use Ghana as our boundary. I classify these public universities within 3 generations. The first generation, those that were established just prior to independence up to the mid-90s. So we have University of Ghana, KNUST, and UCC. They from the first generation of universities in Ghana. The second generation were those that were established or merged from the mid-90s to the first decade of the year 2000. So we have University of Education really by their campus. I mean, when they achieve university status, University of Education and their satellite campuses. You have University for Development Studies and their campuses. You have University of Mines and Technology. You have University of Energy and Renewable Natural Resources. You have University for Professional Studies and others. Then you come to the third generation of public universities. And these are University for Health and Allied Sciences at home, and University for Environment and Sustainable Development in so many and others. So these are all institutions. You are a leader, national, union to fellowship. Ask yourself, why were you chosen from all these list of institutions? Then we have our technical universities in Ghana. We have 10 now. And I'm looking at Ghana's geography with the redemarcation of our regional borders or boundaries. We are likely to have 6 more so that at least each region will have 1 technical university. Again, ask yourself why you were chosen. We have teaching and nursing training colleges, a lot of them. There is also other diploma and degree award institutions like GEMPA, like GIJ, like Ghana Institute of Languages, and others. They are all there. Then we have also the private universities, a lot of them. So Ghana has a lot, more than 100 public and private tertiary institutions. The second thing I'm asking ourselves with these statistics is our membership strength. Assuming I watched the last NAS Congress on Hope channel, not all of them. And I followed the statistics as was given by the then president, detailing the membership strength. You strike the average, and at least each fellowship, whether in senior high school or a tertiary institution, may have about 30 members. 30 members, and you were chosen. Why? There are a lot of offices within the church, from presidency to deacon to whatever, evangelism to secretary, and you were picked. Again, ask yourself why. All right, so now let's look at some questions that we may have to ask ourselves. Question number 1. If you assess yourself and you are to ask yourself, why was I chosen to this portfolio? What will you say? What was that unique characteristic that you think influenced the minds of those who did the selection? Was it by virtue of your age? Shadrach will bear me out. When we were in UCC in the mid 2000s, it's okay. When we were in UCC in the mid 2000s, there was an unspoken convention that to be a fellowship president, you must be at least married, a bit advanced in age, and all that. Those who are unspoken, they were not written down. But you can see that from Elder Mikwewu to Elder Damte to Elder Bedu to Elder Okra, these were men who were advanced. So that was one unspoken rule. If your ascension to your current office was based on your age, I'm sorry, you don't qualify to hold a leadership role. If your qualification to your current office was based on your sex, the program you are offering, a very reputable program, or maybe a postgraduate student, if that was the consideration, then you don't merit to be a leader. and we may have to assess ourselves as we go along. The second probing question I'm asking all of us is, leadership was not forced on you. A group of people sat down and penned down names of people they think in their estimation of the guidance of the Holy Spirit can hold these positions very well. And your name came up. They called you, you were informed. Did you accept it? But so thank you. I'm honored and I'll do my best by the grace of God. And said, okay, hold on, give me time. Let me think through it. And I'll get back to you. For some of us, because of the lure of prestige and reputation and honor, we just accept without even thinking of what lies ahead of us. So, question, what was that singular consideration which influenced your decision to accept your nomination? Question number 3, are you just passing through? Remember, even if you are the first, you're not going to be the last leader in that role. Are you just passing through? Or you would want to leave a unique legacy that your occupancy of the office will be remembered for? And last question, when history mentions your name as an occupant of that office, will you be proud of it? Or you will wish your name never comes up amongst the list of Gnaas presidents we have, among the list of secretaries we've had, among the list of personal ministry leaders that we've had. You never wish your name gets mentioned. In that case, you just want to slide Nicodemus into oblivion once you exit office. Ask yourself these questions. Okay, so that leads me into my next theme under this presentation, in which I'm going to lead you into the various roles I've held as a leader at the University of Cape Coast. And you will understand why I'm adding this, because when I get to the principles, I will focus much on it. Because as Mr. President said, Doc, we don't want theories. I'm not even a leadership practitioner or planning practitioner. I'm just a simple, modest man going about my work. So he said, you don't want theories, you want what has helped you in your practice. So I think it's prudent I let you know this one. So when I was in my second and third year at UCC, I was a member of the Hall Library Committee. Naturally, it was progressive that I stand for election. I mean, Hall elections are the library chairman, which will make me a member of the Hall's JCR. I did. I applied, and I applied because I was poached by the Hall editor, then who is now the editor for this newspaper, the Statesman newspaper, and I was poached by the outgoing Hall library chairman, who coincidentally bore the same name as Yima of Wachi. So he said, oh, Yima, we think you can do it, so apply for it. I did. After applying, I sat down. Why did I apply? Can I do it? When my role conflicts with things I stand for, can I stand up for what I believe in? I thought about all this, and then just 2 days to the vet, and I wrote a letter to the Hall master that I am withdrawing my candidacy. I can't go ahead. In fact, it was a huge blow to the two men who approached, but I didn't care. I saw myself that it is not right for me to go this tangent. Within the fellowship at UCC, I was a deacon at one point in time. I was assistant nurse, zonal nurse for data for the then South Ghana Zone 2. South Ghana Conference then had was situated and overseeing 3 regions: Volta, Greater Accra, and Central Region. So South Ghana Zone 1 was University of Ghana, overlooking Greater Accra and Volta region. South Ghana Zone 2 was Central Region. I was the assistant zonal nurse coordinator, and then in my national service, I considered and applied to be a national coordinator, and that was what I performed for my national service. From there, I went to medical school outside Ghana, and when I went there, from the first year to the third year, coincidentally, I found myself in another leadership role. My school had a tradition that every year group that comes, they appoint a representative who will be their sole rep on the academic board, and I was chosen. And mostly when you are chosen, it's for the life of your stay on campus. So I was chosen first year to third year. I was, we call it star roster. So I was the year group rep for my year in the academic board. I think I did well. But going into fourth year, I said no, I can't continue again. I'm dropping off. It was a shock to my mates that, oh, but you are doing well, and we don't think anyone can function as you are doing. I said no, it's okay. Someone should take over for me. Why did I say it's enough for me? We'll get there. When I was in fifth year, the various departments, they have research units in them. And I joined the Pediatric Student Researchers Society. And again, I was made the president of the society. I conducted some researches, attended international conferences with my professors and other students. And this one too, you understand why I included us. I came to Ghana, I wrote my exams, licensure exams, I passed, started my hard job at the University of Ghana Hospital. For my first and second year, I went to 37 Hospital. I've been there ever since. At 37 Hospital, in my second year at the surgical unit, leadership who again found me. In surgery, we were about 30 junior doctors. And they said, we are choosing you as our head. Hey, again, again. Okay, so that going house officer in charge recommended my name to the officer in charge, who is a colonel in the Ghana, Mikene Bugri. I was interviewed and I said, okay, we can do it, so go ahead. Yes, my girl. So I'm doing something, so sit down. Okay, I'm coming. So I was chosen as the house officer in charge. My duty, among others, was to detail where every house officer in that surgical unit should be at every point in time, whether the emergency, as day shift, as night shift, as at the theater, at the OPD, in the ward, and all that. 30 doctors under me. When I was there with my house job, I was retained there. And again, from house, we moved to the next, which is medical officer. Again, I continued my role as a medical officer in charge. Why am I saying all this? Principles that have served me well in this role is what I'm going to share with you. Principle number one, know yourself. If I'm to ask you, what are to describe or to say something about yourself, chances are you will tell me, my name is this, I'm in this institution, I'm offering this program, and maybe your aspirations. Hardly will anyone mention something extra. In Luke chapter 14, verse 25 to 28, we read, now large crowds were going along with him, and he turned and said to them, for which one of you, when he wants to build a tower, does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if he has enough to complete it? That was Jesus Christ. People wanted to be his disciples. And this was what he was telling them. You want to follow me? Then you first have to sit down and assess yourself, whether you can follow me, whether it is worth it. What am I saying? Before you accept any leadership role, know your strength. And if you want to plan to be an effective leader, you have to know your strength. That is not enough. Know your weaknesses. Sometimes you know so much of our strength, but you know little to none about our weaknesses. My weakness is I procrastinate, but I'll get the job done. And I like doing things at the very last minute. I have all the time in the world to leisure about. So that is my weakness. And I'm trying to overcome it. So know your weaknesses. Know the resources at your disposal, and whether this can be of help to you or will be a curse to you. And know your purpose, why you want to be a leader. You can't plan to be an effective leader if you don't know your strength, your weaknesses, your resources, and your purpose. Principle number two, my friend Shadrach Nketia, who was the first speaker, took us through it. And that is have a clear-cut vision. You see, when you accept any leadership role, there will be a lot of competing needs within that establishment. The needs will be varied and many. Identify all the needs so that you can leave a lasting legacy. When I was made the house officer in charge, I saw that the surgical unit was the most haphazard of all run emergencies at a military hospital. It was like a bush. There's no everything is like a jungle. You struggle to even get gloves to wear. And I said, no, this thing must end with my tenure. And the officer in charge will say that I was just tormenting him. There was no, I was set down for orderlies to run out. So identify the needs and select those that you think within your strength and weaknesses and resources and purpose, you can competently deliver it. And having a clear-cut vision, also plan for resources. Some of the resources may be tangibles or intangibles. Time is a resource. Your mind is the greatest resource that you have. Your friends, your colleagues are resources you have. Again, money. Money is a huge resource. Where are you going to get it from? If it demands financial commitment, can you go ahead and identify material resources as well? In planning and having a clear-cut vision, there will be a lot of opposing and dissenting views. If you are so much convinced in your vision and you think it's the right thing to do, mute all PhDs. And by PhDs, I mean they pull him down and they pull her down voices. That will be bombarding your ears, and be singularly committed to the vision that you have charted for yourself. Principle number 3, take honest feedbacks. You see, feedbacks are not palatable, especially if they are very sour feedbacks. But Jesus did it. In Matthew chapter 16, verse 13 to 15, we read, now when Jesus came to the district of Caesarea Philippi, he was asking his disciples, who do people say that the Son of Man is? Then they started singing him praises. Oh, some say you are this, some say you are that, some say you are this, others say you are that. Then he said, hold on, now let me make it more pointedly personal. What do you people think, or what do you people say I am? And I think it was not only Peter who spoke, others spoke. But Jesus was listening to something that will point him to his purpose for coming on earth. And Peter said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Let me stand up. You are the Son of the living God. And in this statement by Peter, in this statement by Peter, he was telling Jesus Christ, you are God, you are man, you are here to die as our Messiah. Maybe Peter did not even know the implication of what he said, but telling Jesus Christ, you are the Son of the living God, and you are the Christ. It was a huge statement to make. And Jesus' response to Peter tells us that indeed, it wasn't palatable, because he reminded Jesus that a time will come, you will die. You are the Christ. So in taking feedbacks, don't fall for flattery. If you want to plan to include taking feedbacks as a leader. We hear so many times the president organizing Meet the Press series, and then others will be going and be singing his praises. Oh, blimey, seriously? That is not the time for you to sing praises. Ask the hard questions. So don't fall for flattery. And have a listening ear. Feedbacks, as I said, are not palatable, especially when you are to listen to them within the context of, and you want to be flattered. I remember when I was made house at 37 Military Hospital, I said to myself, I am not going to allow any married woman or any pregnant woman to run night shift at the emergency. And come and see a lot of voices. They reported me so much that even the senior soldier in charge at the emergency at the surgery heard it. So he called and said, Colonel, I will not do this. So have a listening ear. And when you are listening, don't interject or don't attempt to explain yourself. Just listen. And in your sober moment, reflect on the sour ones and make a commitment to make the necessary changes. Take feedback. It's very important. After taking feedback, that is from the outside world, you yourself assess yourself. It can be monthly assessments, it can be quarterly assessments, depending on how long your tenure is. In assess yourself, this is what I was always doing. At the end of every week, because I prefer doing that at the end of the week. I will write a report about myself to myself, and then I will mark it. And when I'm marking it with the eye of someone who is seeking for promotion, and whether the person merits promotion or not. So assess yourself. You can't be an effective leader if you don't plan to assess yourself and be so honest and be so naked about yourself in your assessments and make recommendations to yourself and pursue it. I told you about the roles I resigned from. I resigned because from my assessment, I think I had done enough or I can't continue in it. Assess yourself. It's very important. Principle number 5, we are almost done. Be excellent by giving of your best. You see, you can't be a leader. This is a hard truth, but you can't be a leader in your school and be fighting for third class and second class lower. No, you always aspire to be at the top 5% of your class. I always say the top 5% of your class. You can't be a leader and you dress shabbily. You can't be a leader and you speak anyhow. You can't be a leader and your human relationship is so bad. People detest your presence. Excellence in all things, excellence in everything. And excellence is a spiritual expectation. Ellen White tells us higher than the highest human thought can reach is God's ideal for his children. God's ideal is that we be higher. God open the page. God's idea is that we be higher than the highest. Be excellent in everything. And let me again cite examples from medical school. Whenever I was even attending conference, whether national or international conferences, and I missed exams, my teachers would just say, "Okay, we know Emmanuel." They will just use my class assessment, and I don't even need to write my end of term exams. They will just pass me. It's happened about 4 times. I didn't write exams in pharmacology. I didn't write exams in obs and gynae. I didn't write exams in pediatrics 2 times, but they passed me. Excellence rewards and it's rewarding. Another time when I began my neurosurgery rotation, our boss then Colonel Apia was on leave. So when we resumed, we had done I think a little about over 1 week. So he called us. He didn't know us, so he called us and said, "My new team, can introduce yourselves." We were 4 junior doctors. So he asked us a question. Assuming you are not at post, but there's something very urgent you have to do somewhere. However, you find yourself in a situation that makes it impossible for you to be present to do that assignment. And then he asked us, "Whom will you call amongst the 4 of you?" So he started from me. I said, "Oh, I'll call Dr. Taiwo." So he asked, "Who is Dr. Taiwo?" And Taiwo said, "Kenner, it's me." He said, "So Taiwo, whom will you call?" Taiwo said, "I'll call Dr. Boache." Then he went to the next, Dr. Philippa. Philippa, whom will you call? Said, "I'll call Dr. Boache." Then he went to Oforidade. Oforidade too said, "I will call Dr. Boache." So Kanabi was like, "Who is Dr. Boache?" And I said, "Kenner, that's me." I said, "Oh, okay. What am I saying? Excellence rewards, and excellence, I'll wait for you later. And excellence is rewarding. If you are excellent, everyone sees it, and everyone will recommend it. So plan to be the best in your class. Plan to be one of the best in your hall. Plan to be the best in every sphere of life. See excellence as a part, as a tie, a car tie. If there's a puncture at one spot, the whole tie deflates. So be excellent in every point of your life. Principle number 6, delegate responsibilities. And Shabak Nketia said it. And I learned it the hard way. I was a type who was always taking front seats. Blow it out, I'll do it for you. I was the one who was taking front role in everything that I was doing. Then I got to 37 where I was made the HOIC, and I had to plan. No, I'll do it for you. Go to mommy and take your phone. Go to mommy and take your phone and come. Right. Sorry for the interjections. Yes, wait. So I had to plan for my team on duties. And then there was a time a lady, yes, go. There was a time a lady couldn't attend to her, so she called me and said, "HOIC, I can't make it." I said, "Okay." So I called all my other colleagues. None said they can swap with her. So it had to fall on me. I had worked for 48 hours non-stop, and I was going to add another night duty to make it 72 hours, 3 days. So what happened? The next I had to be at the theater, and I passed out at the theater. So my boss said, "Oh, Dr. What happened?" I said, "Oh, I have been working for 72 hours." And what happened? Said, they asked me, "But you are their head. Why do you give yourself duties?" And that was when I learned to delegate responsibilities. Delegate responsibilities. Find in a, and this will come handy after identifying your resources to know those whom you can fall on at every point in time. Principle number 7 is what I call the God factor. You can't plan to be an effective leader if you take God out. And Ellen White says, those who in everything make God first and last and best are the happiest people in the world. You can find this in My Life Today, page 66. Make God first in your planning as a leader. Make God last as your planning in your plan as a leader. And make God the best in your planning as a leader. And be very effective, and people will recommend you and commend you for other roles as well. Professor Stephen Ade, former rector of Gempa, says leadership is cause, everything else is effect. And one of the founding fathers of the United States of America, Benjamin Franklin, said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Thank you and happy Sabbath. I'm done.
Thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you very much, Dr. Boache. I think we've come to the end of the presentation, but we still have our facilitators with us. So the questions that have come in, I would present it to them. Ms. Dankwa, Mr. Inketie, and Dr. Boache, if you are still with us, I believe you can help with this one question that we have. So from our brother Andrew, okay, he gave a comment. Our brother Andrew, okay, here again. His question is to Mr. Inketia, or anybody can help. I have a problem with the daily goals. Practically, it looks challenging because one can spend 25% of the day planning. It gets so tiring. Wouldn't a weekly one be more practical? So that's Shadrach's question to us. If we have Mr. Inketia to please help us answer it on planning, or if any other facilitator can help us out.
Yes, maybe I'll take the first response and then we'll see if other facilitators have other comments. Daily goals, I think, is very crucial to have them because it gives you energy even to start the day with. Well, some people do it the last thing in the night, some people do it first thing in the morning. But if we are unable to break down our monthly or even weekly goals into daily goals, then we are basically not operationalizing what we wanted to do. It's challenging. Every day you need to do it, but without them, how do you go on with your activities during the day? For me, I would rather even have daily goals than weekly, even though all of them are very important, because on a daily basis, I need to be able to monitor my progress. In the morning, what am I doing? In the afternoon and at night, which gives purpose and direction for whatever I'm doing. So, well, it may be challenging, but let's try and have them. Thank you.
Thank you too very much. We have another contribution from Andrew, which I'll read to all of us, is on networking. Gnaas member networking happens first in our campus fellowship. We have a link with our seniors and juniors. That's a big network. They become lawyers, doctors, teachers, directors in the future. We can fall on when we become adults. Beyond our campuses, through meetings such as Congress, Union Retreat, etc., we have an expanded relationship with colleagues on other campuses. This is a big network. So I believe Gnaas on itself is already a very big networking environment. To all our facilitators for today, we are very grateful for your time and for the lessons we have learned from you. We have no other question, but in the afternoon, God willing, from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., we have other presentations scheduled, which I would encourage all of us to be a part of. We have adaptive contemporary evangelistic tools for campus ministry, and to be by Pastor Agana. So I will invite all of us to be part of it. I don't know if our host has something for us, but if he has nothing for us, we'll take our closing prayer and call it a day. Last national.
Okay, we have a small challenge for the afternoon presentation. So whatever happens will be communicated on the next page for our audience. It's likely we may only have the evening presentation and not the afternoon one, and then have it during the morning session tomorrow. So let's take put for the update.
Please, someone just asked when is Elder Ejelim speaking, so if you can help us out with that too.
Okay, Elder Ejelim could not join us this morning. I tried reaching him, but couldn't reach him. So we may have to skip his presentation and then make it to church. Because already our time is up at 9. Okay, thank you.
Our facilitators, please, someone has asked for the PDFs of your slides. So if it's possible, you can share it with us. That's if it's possible. We'll take our closing prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we are grateful for today's lesson. We thank you for sending your spirit to be with us and for teaching us. May you please bless our facilitators and
go to mommy and take your phone
as we continue to learn to be better leaders in the future. We thank you once again and continue to be with us as the day has not ended. In Jesus Christ's name, we pray. Amen.
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 The aeroplanes and the beautiful things around. Where they talk me say, some come from the ground, from the trees, and other things that God created. So I went to God and asked him, say, Father, so what be the raw materials where you take do all these wonderful things? And God tell me, say,